Lesson 2, combining the exponent laws. So you are going to be learning one brand new exponent law this year, but these ones you have seen before. The first is called the multiplication law. If I go x to the m times x to the n, if I'm multiplying, what do I do with the exponents? Add them. How could I write that algebraically then as a generic rule here? I would write it as x to the what? mn? Why is this wrong? What does mn mean? What mathematical operation is that? If I write ab, are you telling me that that's a plus b? No, it's times. So you guys said add them, so I wouldn't write mn. What would I write up there instead? You're right, I heard it. Someone said it here. M plus n. Yeah, this is the one-size-fits-all generic exponent law. It says, oh, if you're multiplying and your bases are the same, x to the m times x to the n is x to the m plus n. Okay, you figure out what we're trying to do here? Division law. What is the division law in English? What do we say? How would I write that then? X to the what? M minus n. The power of a product law. What's a product in math? What mathematical operation does that mean? Okay, so we go x times y in brackets, and we have a power outside that product. If I wanted to get rid of the brackets, how would I write this? As x, y, what? Brody. Yep. Be very careful you don't mix this up with this. X plus y to the m. I see a lot, I'm going to put is not equal to. I see a lot of kids, Jordan, that want to go like that. So, for example, in Unit 1, wrong button. In Unit 1, I saw a lot of kids that when I gave them this question, they said it was, that's wrong. You have to rewrite the bracket out twice and FOIL it out. So I'm even going to erase that. I don't even want to remind you of it. Not equal. What's the power to a power law when I have an exponent onto an exponent? How would I write that? Maybe you remember from a few minutes ago. That's, I would write mn, because that's what times means. That's how we write times. Remember this math, Ben? Back when math was easy? I see you looking up. Oh, I wish. Oh, what about the fraction to a power law? A to the m over b to the m. Now, let's go back and for what it's worth, if you ask me which of these I do first, you can put a little number 1 next to that. I always look for an exponent outside the brackets first. Then, to be honest, you can be kind of sloppy and just go from left to right, or even take shortcuts, do what's more convenient. And I'll give you a few tricks along the way that help me avoid making dumb mistakes and keep these things a little more straightforward. But when I'm doing these, if it says simplify, which Sam is the word for tidy up, get rid of any extra exponents, write it as one expression, I always look for a power to a power first. Oh, and this is also sort of a power to a power because it's got something in the brackets, but really, that one. So, A, is there an exponent outside the brackets at all? No, always check for that first. Now, it's going to be multiply these together, and multiplying these together is not too bad. It's going to be numbers times numbers. 4 times 2. Letters times letters, x to the 5th times x to the 3rd. Happy joy. B. Is there a power to a power? Nope. Always check for that first. Okay. We're multiplying numbers times numbers, letters times letters. Negative 42 a to the 20th. Negative 42, a to the 20th. C. Is there a power to a power? Nope. Okay. Then we divide numbers first. 20 divided by negative 5. Y to the 15th divided by y to the 9th. Now, here's how I really think of this. I ask myself, how many y's on there on top? 15. How many y's on there on the bottom? 9. I imagine them all written out, all 15 and all 9. I imagine 9 of them canceling, and I say, how many are left? 6 on top. That may sound more complicated, but trust me, it'll make our lives easier in a bit. D. Is there a power to a power? No. Okay, then we divide. Does 30 over 45 work out evenly? Then let's draw a fraction line. Let's reduce it. What is 30 over 45 in lowest terms? What goes into the top and bottom? Or if I want to use a word from last unit, what is the GCF? Yeah. So what's the top if I divide by 15? Divide by 15, it's 3. I get a 2 on top and a 3 on the bottom. How many B's left and where? B4, battleship. C6, battleship. B to the 4th? Boy, I can't believe your teachers let you say it that way last year. I would have beat it out of you. Okay. And the reason I think that, by the way, is as soon as there's a fraction, I find Curtis kids get a little uncertain. What's on the top? What's on the bottom? How many B's left and where? Gets around that because most people will then automatically say, oh, there's more on the bottom, they'll be left on the bottom. Or there's more on the top, they'll be left on the top. Next page. Is there a power to a power? In E? No. Then we can multiply. Numbers times numbers. 18. A to the what? Sorry? 12. Make that 8 a little bit better. F. Is there a power to a power? No. Okay, what the heck is... What's the bedmass here? If you're multiplying and if you're dividing, the rule is you multiply and divide in the order as written from left to right. So it's going to be, are you ready? Negative 16 divided by negative 2. Positive 8, remember that. Times negative 16. Divided by negative 2. There's the numbers. Oh, hang on, I hit the wrong button there. Try that again. Divided by negative 2. There's the numbers. Negative 16 divided by negative 2 is 8 times 16 divided by negative 2, 64. Then let's do the letters. N to the 5th divided by n. N to the 4th times n to the 5th divided by n. N to the 8th. I don't know if they're going to give you one quite that weird, but we can handle it. Hey, what if you got more than one letter? Go alphabetically, one at a time. So example 2 says simplify. Are there any powers to powers? Any powers outside brackets? No? Then let's do the A's first. A to the what? X to the what? Yep. B. Are there any powers to a power? No. How many X's on top? How many X's left and where? And how many Y's left and where? Yeah. C. Any power to a power? No? Okay. Positive 12. B to the 4th. C to the 6th. Yeah. D. Any power to a power? No, you say. Okay. Does 10 over 4 work out evenly? Okay, let's go lowest terms. 5 on the top, 2 on the bottom. I think 7 E's left on the top. I think 3 F's left on the top. Yes? Okay. 3A. Is there a power to a power? Do it first. So this exponent is going to go on to everything. It's going to become a 4 squared, an A to the 4th, a B to the 6th. Can I stop there? Well, I think I can tidy Alex the 4 squared up a little bit. What is 4 squared? I can write this as 16 A to the 4th, B to the 6th. B. Greg, is there a power to a power? Ah, do it first. What's the exponent on the 3, by the way? It's invisible. What's the exponent on that 3 right there? 1. So it's going to be 3 to the 3rd, x to the 6th, although I can write 3 to the 3rd as 27x to the 6th. Mr. Dewick, do you want us to write 3 to the 3rd, or if we know that 3 to the 3rd is 27, can we just write the 27 right away? Yeah? Sure? I would. Now, if it was 3 to the 12th, then Marcus, I'd probably write 3 to the 12th and then go hunting off to my calculator. I don't know what 3 to the 12th is, but I know some of my smaller exponents. C. Is there a power to a power tie? What's the first thing the exponent's going to go on? And I'm going to give you a hint. Not the 2, and not the A, and not the B. What's the first thing that 3 is going to go on? The negative. I'm going to deal with that first. This is a negative to the 3rd power. What's my final answer going to be? Negative or positive? Took care of that. Then there's going to be a 2 to the 3rd. Can we do that one in our heads? It's going to be an 8. Kira, A to the what? B to the 9. If I gave you a question like this on a multiple choice, would one answer be positive? Yeah. Oh, and you know what the other ones would be? A to the 5th, in case kids add the exponents, and B to the 6th, in case kids add the exponents, because those are the 3 most common mistakes. Botching the negative and adding instead of multiplying. You ready? Here's the quick and easy way to do this. How many x's on the top grand total? Can you see it? 8. How many x's on the bottom grand total? Can you see it? How many x's left and where? That's why I like that method. For really complicated stuff, I can do actually a surprising amount in my head. Turn the page. Couldn't quite fit D on the previous page, so okay. What am I going to put the exponent on first? The negative. What is a negative cubed? Negative. And then A to the what, B to the what, C to the what? A cubed, B to the 9th, C to the 9th. Cool. Also remember to simplify A over B to the m power. Means to apply the exponent to the numerator and the denominator. So A over B all to the m. You know what, really, this is sort of the power to a power rule in disguise as well, to be honest. It goes on top and bottom. All right, now we're getting into some fun stuff here. Let's do the top, let's do the bottom. Is there an exponent outside the brackets? That's why I always ask that. This is the power of the power. Yes, it is. It's going to be 2 to the third. Yeah, Garrett? Hey, what is 2 to the third? I can do that one in my head. Let's do that. And Garrett, x to the what on the top? Yep. Over y to the what? Yep. And now we got to get in the habit of zooming back out and saying, can I simplify further? Can I simplify further? Sometimes you'll be able to. So get in the habit of just checking your answer and saying, is it done? B. Nine x squared over 16. Nice. C. Hey, what am I going to handle first? I'm going to take care of that negative because there is a power to a power. There's a power outside the brackets. Okay. My final answer, will it be a negative or will it be a positive? And how can you tell? Positive? So let's ignore the negative from now on then. Then I see a 2. 4, yeah? And a squared over a y to the 6. Brianna, am I right? Yep. So if you go sequentially, if you break it down step by step, as long as you're careful, Alex, it's really not too bad. Ooh, D. Final answer, negative or positive? So ignore the negative. And then I got a 5 squared. Amy, what's 5 squared? You say 25? If you didn't, pretend you did. And on the bottom, x to the what? X to the 6th. Try E on your own, see if we get the same thing. You get 4a to the 4th, b squared all over c to the 6th. I'll tell you what you don't get. 4a4 b2 over c6. Oh, that's battleship. Right? Great question? No, shut up. I mean, okay. It says to simplify an expression means using BEDMAS to apply the exponent laws to the power and evaluate the coefficients. Also, the final answer should not have a negative exponent. I'm giving you my own BEDMAS. What's the first thing I said you look for? Power to power. Okay. A. How many different negatives do you see here? 2. See the first negative, the one outside the brackets? What did I say? The one outside the brackets? Is the 5 on that negative? Then drop it down. Dunk. And I'm going to add an open bracket because I don't think I'm going to be able to completely get rid of the brackets on my first go. Inside the brackets now, let's go power to a power. There is a negative to the 5th power. What's that? And then there's an n squared to the 5th. What's that? So I have negative n to the 10th. Can I tidy that up a little bit? What do you think a negative is? Okay, so the final answer is positive n to the 10th. And some of you may have seen that right away and been able to get there. If you can in your homework, Sam, I'm okay with that. On a quiz or a test, I'd probably show this extra work. Because I'm always a little, always more paranoid on a quiz or a test, right? B. Is there a power to a power? No? Okay. Numbers. What are my numbers on the top? 12. What are my numbers on the bottom? This is really 12 over 6. How many x's on the top, grand total? How many x's on the bottom, grand total? How many will be left and where? Oh, would I leave my answer as 12x over 6? Garrett, what is 12 over 6?
Two.
12 divided by 6. Garrett, with a loud authoritative voice like you know what you're doing, is what?
2.
Oh, and we'll drop down dx. We're getting to the big leagues here, but this is going to be okay. Trust me, trust me, trust me. This question has 3 things. A 16, something in brackets on the top, and a something in brackets on the bottom. Okay? Let's go one term at a time. The 16, does it have a power to a power? Is there an exponent on it? No? Then Ty, just rewrite it, drop it down. We'll deal with it later. Because BEDMAS says do the exponents in the brackets first. What about the x cubed y to the 5th? Does it have an exponent on the outside? Is there a power to a power? Deal with that first. It's going to be x to the 6th, y to the 10th. All over. Two to the what? 2 to the 3rd? Kira, what are you saying I can write instead? And why might that be nice? Because what do I have on top? 16. You know what? Okay, let's put the 8 in. Kira, x to the what on the bottom? Okay. Now let's simplify. Numbers first, 16 over 8. What if it was 8 over 16? Where would the 2 be? On the bottom. Be, and the 1 on top, but I might not write the 1 if there's other stuff up there, right? So if they give me a fraction, Emmett, I'll just simplify. Emmett, where'd that come from? Anthony, going with your last name all of a sudden there. I must have watched you played recently and seen your coach yell at you. 2. Anthony, how many x's on top? How many on the bottom?
6.
How many will be left and where? It's a trick question. Oh, I'm not going to write any x's. They cancel. You see, by asking that question, it makes the answer a little more obvious. How many on top? How many on the bottom? How many left? I think. D. First of all, what's happening right here mathematically if I have 2 brackets side by side? Okay? So BEDMAS says, oh, wait. Is there a power to a power? I'll have to deal with the exponent bracket first. This is going to be there, and there. It's going to be 25 a squared b to the 12th. By the way, you'll notice here, Alon, as soon as I had a bunch of extra terms, I started drawing little loops just to stay organized. You don't have to, but as soon as it gets more complicated, okay, I'll show a little more work. I'll be a little more careful. And that's going to be in brackets, but with nothing outside. No more exponent outside. Is there a power to a power on the second bracket? Then just drop it down. Curtis, my friend, what am I going to get here?
100.
I agree with the 100, 25 times 4.
A into the 4th.
Thank you, sir.
13.
B to the lucky 13. Turn the page, or no, sorry, scroll down. Not turn the page, scroll down. Oh, I see a power to a power. Brianna, deal with that first. I'm going to spend most of my time with the first bracket. Oh, and you know what the first thing that I'm going to put that 3 onto is? Not the 2, not the A, not the B. The negative. What's a negative cubed? Okay, so I'm going to go bracket. There's going to be a negative kicking around. Sam, A to the what?
6.
You're right. B to the what?
9.
Keep going. You're so smart, man. Is there a power to a power on this one here? Then just rewrite it, drop it down. Hey, Sam, do I have a negative times a positive? Do I have a negative? I forgot the 2. Oh, good gosh, I forgot the 2, Mr. Dewick. Sheesh. Should be an 8, yes? 2 cubed? I never make mistakes. Whew. Sam, you were ready to point that out, weren't you? Absolutely. Sam, now do I have a negative times a positive? Say yes.
Yes.
I do. So what is a negative times a positive?
Negative.
Final answer is going to be negative. Numbers times numbers. 32. How many A's? 11 of them. How many B's? 16 of them. F may look ugly. I'm telling you, with the right tools, it'll fall apart pretty quickly. It'll fall apart pretty quickly. Okay. Yeah, it will. Amy, read me the first term. 72x to the 4th, y to the 10th. Did you say an exponent around that in brackets or anything like that? Then rewrite it. And let's put it in a bracket now, but with no exponent outside, just to keep it tidy. The second term, I see a negative 7z to the 4th. Deal with the negative first. Is my answer going to be negative or positive? Okay, let's not write the negative. I'm just going to write in brackets z to the what? To the 8th. Yoink. On the bottom, there's a 6. And then 2 cubed. It's going to be an 8. X to the 3rd. Y to the 6th. Dunk. Greg, in the final term, is there an exponent outside these brackets here? Well, I guess technically a little visible 1, but you know what I mean. So rewrite it. Numbers first. What numbers do I have on the top? What number do I really have on the bottom? 48. How many x's on the top, grand total? 4. How many x's on the bottom, grand total? 3. How many x's will be left and where? How many y's on the top, grand total? 10. How many y's on the bottom, grand total? Careful. 9. 1 y left on top. How many z's on top, grand total? 8. How many z's on the bottom, grand total? How many z's will be left? Gone. I can tidy this up a bit more because 72 over 48 will reduce. What goes into 72 and 48? 12 does, is a bigger one. By the way, if you go 72 divided by 12, you would get 6. 48 divided by 12, you would get 4. It's 6 over 4. $24 goes to the top and bottom. And you got an X and you got a Y. How many Y's on top? How many Y's on top? 10. How many Y's on the bottom? 9. How many left? 1 on the top. Example 6. 3 more with lots and lots of negatives. By the way, Although they wrote a divided by like that, I'm going to write it as a fraction because I think better, Brianna, by saying how many on top, how many in the bottom, and I can kind of imagine them canceling. So my next line, I'm going to put it over as a fraction. Hey, that first one, what am I going to deal with first, not the A? The negative. Garrett, negative to the 6th power will give me what? So this is just going to be A to the 6th on the top, divided by over. In the second term, I'm going to deal with that negative. It still sticks around. Okay. First of all, I have a positive divided by a negative. See it, Sam? What is a positive divided by a negative? Okay. Now, when you have a negative fraction, you can write the negative in several ways. You can put the negative in front like this. How many A's on top? How many A's on the bottom? How many left and where? Okay. That's acceptable. What we don't like is, supposing we had ended up with A's on the bottom, supposing we'd ended up with this, negative, don't write this down, 1 over A cubed. Putting a negative down there, it's not wrong, it's bad math manners. It's like walking around with something hanging from your nose. There's no law against it, but if you want to have friends, you probably want to deal with it. Same thing in math. If you want math nerdy friends, negatives go on the top of a fraction or in front of a fraction, but never in the bottom if we can help it. Greg likes that analogy? Or did he just learn some life advice? That explains why I don't have any friends. Okay. Greg, look at B. That first term, that negative, would it or wouldn't it? Convince me. I know, convince me, folks. That first term, will it be negative or positive? Why?
Because the A to the 6th is not, so the negative is not in the bracket.
That 6 is not acting on the A. It's on the negative. It's only acting on the A because I didn't put it in brackets. So this is going to be negative A to the 6th all over or divided by. What about in the second one, Greg? Will the negative stick around or vanish? Vanish. Over positive A to the 4th. Once again, I have a negative divided by a positive, which is a negative. Final answer, Amy? Thank you, A to the 2, not A2. Sorry? Question? Making fun of Sam? Oh, because if you had, I was candy for you. Okay. One more. Try that one. See if you get the same thing as me. See if you can figure out whether it's negative or positive, or negative, negative, or positive, or figure it out. I think you get a negative over a negative, yeah? And you get a positive, right? You heard the old positive joke? And Adam walks into a bar and he says to the bartender, I've lost an electron. The bartender says to the atom, are you sure? The atom says, yes, I'm positive. Think about it. Yeah. What's your homework? Give me a second, I'll hand it out. Didn't mean to add a marker. Answers are attached to this one. Assignment 2, questions that you can do. Let me just shrink this down so I can see the whole screen again, Mr. Duick. I think if we go 1A, C, and E, and I think if you write small, you can do it right there, or you can do these on a separate piece of paper. Write this down, telling you which questions to do for the homework, mister. Because Greg was putting his headphones in, all of number 2, beat him up after school. I think all of number 3, but I think you can do almost all that showing no work, just boom, 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 because I don't see any exponents to exponents. You guys seem to be getting the hang of this, so I'm going to say skip 4, skip 5. In fact, I'm even going to say try 6D and 6E. I'll give you the nasty ones. If you can get those, then you're in great shape. If you're having trouble with D and E, go back and you can try A and B and C for more practice. 7's got some lovely nasties. Let's do 7. Whoop. I'm just trying to give you most of the hard questions, tougher questions. 9, 10, 11. Take a look at number 13. What's weird about number 13? Pardon me? What's weird about number 13? Ah, I heard the key thing. It's not the pluses. Somebody said it. Yeah. I don't know. What did I assign for 8 and 9? I'm 9 all. I skipped 8, 10, 11. Okay, back here. Ready, Brody? We're back here now. What's weird about number 13? There's a key thing that's strange. It's not that there's pluses in the exponents. What are in the exponent?
Exponents.
Begins with letter V. Okay, variables in the exponents. This is a nice way on the provincial exam that they love to do to take something that's fairly straightforward and make it yucky. I haven't done variables with exponents with you. I'm going to assign number 13 to see if you can look at the answer and figure it out yourself. And if you do, great. If not, when I see you on Wednesday, first thing you can ask is, how do you do number 13? And with a nerdy smile on my face, I will happily go over them. But I have to, I think I mentioned this already, get you used to, Brianna, because I can't predict every question on the provincial exam. I need to get you used to thinking quick on your feet a little bit. When you see something you've never seen before, now what? Is that okay? So try 13, those 4 questions. You got a full half hour to work on this and finish this. You probably can get almost all of it done in class. Also, if you don't have assignment 1 done, hand that in class, please.